Hello, everyone. My name is Ayoma Edache, and today I'll be presenting the results of a study entitled Motherly Concern Regarding Child Academic Success, a COVID-19 study. The COVID-19 pandemic has severely impacted the daily lives and routines of Canadian families. With rapid and sustained increases in the incidence of COVID-19 infections, the government has undertaken significant disruptive measures to mitigate the spread of the illness. Mandated social distancing measures have resulted in workplace/business and school closures and a shift to working and learning from home. There are tremendous disparities in how workers have been impacted. Non-essential workers in low-wage sales positions saw their livelihoods threatened. Others maintained their work but had to work from home for the first time, while essential workers, who were considered critical to preserving life, health, and social and societal functioning, continued working on site, but were under more job-related stress. What about parents? Parents who are workers. How has the shift to remote working impacted their availability to aid their children who have now shifted to primarily um, um, schooling from home? That's the question we aim to answer with this study. Our objective was to examine the association between remote work during the COVID-19 pandemic and motherly concern for their child's academic success among Canadian families. Remote work refers to parents who are primarily working from home. As there's limited knowledge on the consequences of COVID-19 mitigation measures on Canadian families, this research fills an important gap in knowledge. In order to meet our objective and answer a question, data from the fifth series of the crowdsourcing um, series cycle impacts of COVID-19 on Canadian series conducted by Statistics Canada was analyzed. Specifically, the series aimed to determine parental or to assess parental concerns and experiences with regards to their child's social lives, health, and academic success in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. Open advertising was used to recruit parent volunteers to complete a 5-minute self-administered online questionnaire hosted on an anonymous portal on the Statistics Canada website between June 9th and June 22nd, 2020. However, for the purpose of the present study, we only analyzed data that was collected from mothers or female guardians with children between the ages of 6 and 14 years old. So this illustration here depicts how we went from our complete data set to our analytic sample with an N of 13,416. So like I mentioned, we only included households with children between the ages of 6 and 14 years old. And then we also only included surveys that were completed by female parents or guardians. So this resulted in a final sample of about 1,371 parents, female guardians, or mothers who indicated that they were working outside of the home. And then 4,840 mothers or female guardians who indicated that they were working from home or doing a combination of working from home and outside of the home, and that they were very concerned about their child's academic success. I just want to give a brief description of the important variables in our study. So our exposure variable was remote work. So all adult remote work, yes or no, whether or not adults in the household were working outside of the home or working from home primarily. Um, for the outcome, our outcome variable was child academic success concern. This was dichotomous as well. Very concerned or minimal or no concern. Some confounders that were relevant to our question included age, education, province of residence, visible minority, and immigration status. And then some other risk factors included number of adults residing in the household, as well as concern regarding the child's behaviors, mental and physical health. So in terms of our statistical analysis plan, all statistical analyses were performed using R. Due to some missingness for our exposure variable, missingness was greater than 15%. So we decided to employ multiple imputation by chain equations to address that. Our main analysis involved a multivariate logistic regression model in which we used a backward elimination approach using AIC to aid with variable selection. And the area under the curve was used for diagnostics. Just to give you a brief description of our final sample. So in terms of our study sample, we had 6,211 participants who reported being very concerned, while we had about 7,205 who reported minimal or no concern. So almost half of the sample reported that being very concerned about their child's academic success. The 35 to 45 year age group comprised of the largest proportion of participants, which was about 68%. The proportion of participants who did not attend university was less than those who had attended university. So about 73% indicated that they had attended university. In terms of province of residence distribution, the largest proportion of participants resided in an eastern province, such as Newfoundland and Labrador, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Ontario, or Quebec. And finally, a small proportion of the population, about 9%, identified as a visible minority, while 11% were immigrants or non-permanent residents. So, like I said, we conducted an adjusted logistic regression. The variables that we adjusted for are listed below the table, and our results are showing that there is in fact a significant relationship between remote work, so working from home during the pandemic, and concern regarding the child's academic success. And so mothers of families with adults not working remotely, so adults working outside of the home, have 1.29 times greater odds than mothers of families with all adults working remotely, working from home, to report being particularly very concerned with their child's school year and academic success. Sorry, that's a typo there. I just want to leave you with some take-home messages. So specifically, mothers who are essential workers have played an imperative role in keeping services functioning during the COVID-19 pandemic, potentially risking their safety and their families' well-being to serve others. Our study elucidates that mothers of children with parents working outside the home are more concerned with their child's academic success, adding to their burden. And our results demonstrate a need to support Canadian families by investing in high quality virtual learning programs to lessen parental worries that their presence at home is actually needed for their child to be successful academically. Just like to conclude by thanking you all for listening today.